Welcome back, guys. It's been a little while since I made a video, but I feel like now every time I make a video, it's I'm I'm too much the center of it, especially since this is called the Great Man Podcast, and I don't want people to think it's about me. But I figured I'd talk a little bit about what I've been up to, just as a little update, and what I've done. Since some of you guys are from Doug Casey's Take and maybe want to know a little bit about the Renaissance Man program that I'm a guinea pig for, and yeah, just learn a little bit about that and see what I'm doing. And maybe you guys aren't from Doug Casey's Take and don't know what the Renaissance Man program is and want to know more about it. So basically what the Renaissance Man program is this idea that's largely come from Doug Casey about what you can do basically from the time you're 18 all throughout your 20s, and maybe even a little bit before you turn 18. And instead of college, the military, or getting a degree of some sort. And basically part of it's based off a list of games, occupations, and activities you can do to become competent in, relatively competent in during this time. Games like chess, poker, Go, and bridge. Activities like scuba diving or racing, whether that's car or motorcycle, or learning a second language, martial arts, learning how to play an instrument of some sort, things like that. And then there's occupations, which would be like EMT, building trades, selling, entrepreneurship, speaking, writing. What else is there? I'm trying to think. I don't know, but I'll try to make a video just solely based on that in the future. But I'm used as the example for this at the moment, and it's been very interesting. I would say it basically started off in July when I went to a Wrangler school in Wyoming. The guy who owns the Wrangler school, his name is Dwayne, and you might be familiar with him because he has a YouTube channel called Dry Creek Wrangler School on YouTube, and it has about maybe 600,000 subscribers now. And now he has his own Wrangler school business. So I learned, even though I knew how to ride a horse before, I learned what the wrangling lifestyle would be like, what it would look like. I learned more about horses and horse behavior and horsemanship. I learned a little bit about the bits and saddles as well, all the tack. So that was very cool experience, and it was just outside of Sheridan, Wyoming. Very beautiful, very cool, and yeah, it was a very cool experience and good things to learn for sure. So I started off with that in July, and I don't know if you could get a spot in the class until maybe the summer of next year, just because I think those things get booked up so quickly. So if you want to do that, just double check and make sure now, because especially since he has hundreds of thousands of subscribers on YouTube, those spots fill up. So I did that, but I would say I officially started in August, and I started learning a bit more about chess. I started practicing Spanish every day. I started reading more, just various different things, and started riding a little bit more as well, and working out every day. So I did that, and then on August 8th, I started an EMT class in Boise, which was very, very helpful to learn about what to do in different trauma situations, different medical situations, what kind of medications you can give someone, what medications are in your scope, the dosages of those medications for adults and for kids, and the contraindications, the indications and contraindications, reasons to give and reasons not to give that medication. So very cool stuff. It's, no one will deny that knowing how to splint an arm is not a good thing. It is obviously a good thing to know how to do. Knowing what medications do, even just 6 very basic medications, knowing what they do and being able to administer them to the right person with the right dose, is incredibly helpful. Knowing different things that can happen to a person in a trauma situation, or different medical problems people can have, it was all very cool to learn all of that. And I just did that I took a class that was twice a week, and it was 4 hours every day, or 4 hours each day. But even which I think the slower class was better in some ways, because it allowed you more time to really study. But there was another class, at least there at Idaho Medical Academy, that was, I think, 3 days a week and 4 hours each class. So that was 3 months, and that ended about this time last month. I took my final exam, and I think that's a great thing to know how to do. I would not recommend being an EMT though. From what I've seen, it sucks. Because we had to do a clinical where we did a ride along with an ambulance, and I was so excited for that. I thought it was gonna be really cool. It was on October 1st, I remember. I was like, man, I get to start this month off doing a ride along in an ambulance. That's awesome. I got placed with a interfacility transport ambulance, which is not very fun because you're just going from one facility to another facility, and that one facility is typically like a elderly care facility to a hospital, or hospital to elderly care facility. So during that 8-hour stretch, which I thought it was going to be 10 hours, I'm so happy it wasn't. But during that 8-hour stretch, we had 2 calls, and I get that sometimes you get 0 calls. Another day you get 18 in a day. But we had 2 calls. One was like a almost 90-year-old man with abdominal pain, and the other was some woman with dementia who fell and hit her head. So nothing crazy. Not that you should expect it to be crazy, but it was boring. But what was worse was the EMT and paramedic there, or the EMTs and paramedics there. Like, these people were not nice people. They didn't look me in the eye. The EMT did a little bit, and he spoke to me a little bit. But this paramedic woman was insane. I mean, I remember I went in there. It's early in the morning, and I get there just waking up, and some of them were up all night. I'm not going to be very social in the morning either. I understand that. I don't want to talk in the morning that much. I don't want to meet people in the morning, mainly because I don't like looking tired. I don't like that, but I get it. I walk in, I'm a student. I'm here to learn. I'm ready to learn, even though I was thinking it was going to be 10 hours. I'm like, okay, that's cool. I want to learn. I walk in, I meet the dispatchers there, and they show me over to the kitchen, and there's this paramedic woman cooking in there. And I said, hi, Max, nice to meet you. And I stuck my hand out to shake her hand, and she said, I'm making breakfast. I'm not going to shake your hand. I'm like, all right, okay. Which, I don't know, maybe I don't know. There was a better way to say that. So I'm like, okay. And then later on, the EMT shows me around the van that they have there. It wasn't like when you think of an ambulance, it wasn't that. It was a van. It was like a Sprinter van, basically. And I know some places are like that, but he showed me around and showed me some of the advanced EMT and paramedic medications you can give, and some of that stuff is very cool. So did that, and then I sat back down. They, of course, because these people do nothing 90% of the time. Imagine having a job where you get paid to do nothing 90% of the time. That's EMTs, paramedics, AEMTs, all those people. So, and I'm saying this as someone who went through an EMT class, so I'm just letting you know. But I go down into this room. They tell me to just sit down, and we're going to wait there until we get a call. So there's 2 couches and a TV. Of course, there has to be a TV. The paramedic woman is sitting down on one couch. I sit down on the other. And I turn to her, I look at her, and I say, so, you must have some pretty crazy stories then. Because she told me she had been a paramedic for like 35 years or something. She's staring at her phone. She doesn't look up. She doesn't look at me. She just says, yeah. And I was thinking in my head, what? Where am I? I must be at the wrong place, because aren't I like the student here? Aren't these people supposed to teach me something? And then the rest of the day, besides those 2 calls and them stopping to get some food, they watched football the entire time. So that's why you don't want to be an EMT or paramedic unless you're out doing some wildland stuff, or like a flight paramedic or something. But even then, you're probably not going to be doing very much 90% of the time. So, and you get paid according to what you do, which is most of the time nothing. So, that was a learning experience, because everyone has this idea that EMTs and paramedics and firefighters are all constantly out there doing some hard work, and that they're the heroes. They're not. These are just some average people who have nothing better to do, who decided, well, this came my way, so I'll just do this. And then they find themselves watching 50 movies in 3 weeks, and because they wear this badge or whatever, they think that they're cool, or that they're some hero. But EMT, paramedic, firefighter, they're not. So anyway, I did that, and that was very helpful. I think all that stuff is very good to know, for sure. I'm very happy I did that, even though it was, it did take a lot of time, but I have time to spare. Especially, we all have a lot more time than we think. So that was good to do. And then all throughout this time, I'm getting a little better at chess and Spanish, reading and writing, and doing different little courses here and there, like a writing course from Malcolm Gladwell, and a wilderness survival course on Masterclass, which was pretty good, I would say. The woman who did it was very excited to do her job, which was good, but sometimes it got a little difficult to watch that. It was just too much. But that was still good stuff to learn, like basic foraging skills and just little things that seem counterintuitive. Like how you should really not conserve your food that much. Like if you get lost on a day hike, you need that energy now to figure things out and figure out what you're going to do. So holding off from eating anything until you absolutely need it isn't the best idea. It's better get some food in now, and then try to work at a shelter if need be. But first off, try to get out, and if you can't get out, then build a shelter, and then find a way that you can build a smoke signal or build some sort of signal to let people know where you are. So just little things like that. 'Cause we all think, oh, we gotta save all this food until we really need it, and then like we get super worried about it. And she's like, just slow down. As humans, we have usually 3 weeks until we starve. So just take your time, slow down, and put more emphasis on water. That's which of course, I mean, a lot of these things that I've noticed when you learn things, you learn a lot of things that are pretty obvious, but you just don't really think of, but they're still obvious. So I don't know how to explain that very well, but still obvious, but you don't think about it. So let's see, doing those basic courses, and then lots of little things in between. I did BJJ for a little bit. That was very helpful. Learning like how to properly do a rear naked choke and omoplata, kimura, and Americana. Just learning the basics was very helpful. And getting to roll with higher belts and like a blue belt and some brown belts, and just understanding what people are capable of physically and how to protect yourself in a dangerous situation like that. And learn some really cool things to know how to do. If you need to break someone's arm, now you know how to break someone's arm. If you need to just get people to stop moving, you know how to get them to stop moving and sit still. So things like that too. Learn how to do that. Unfortunately, I didn't get to do BJJ as long as I wanted to before I left here, but anyway, it was still good. Let's see, what else? Lots of little things. I'm forgetting a lot still now, but right now, I've been given the opportunity to potentially do some stuff with wildland firefighting next summer. So I just completed today my S-130 online wildland firefighting training, and that was very cool to learn. It's like the very, very basics, and when I did that course, it always said refer back to your IRPG handbook for this, and this. So, which is just like the wildland firefighting handbook. So it was very basic, and it didn't go in depth at all, really. But it was still cool stuff to know. I didn't know anything about the tools or how to build a control line, really. I didn't know very, very much about what to do in different types of terrain. I didn't know the different terms for different wildland fires, like a smoldering fire versus a creeping fire versus a running fire versus a torching fire versus a crowning fire. I didn't know those things. There's a lot to learn from that. And I'm also doing a accounting course as well right now, and starting to learn about some economic stuff as well, and reading Principles of Economics by, I believe his name is Saifedean Ammous. So lots of stuff, but I just want to make a short little video about what I've been up to and what I've been doing to hopefully give you guys some more insight into it. And then I was thinking about making a video solely dedicated to the Renaissance Man program and just talk about the purpose of it and how what I'm doing relates to it, so that you guys get a better idea of what you guys can do. But anyway, I hope you guys have a good day. Just want to make a little video after, I don't know, it's probably been 2 months or so since the last time I did. But yeah, you can hear the cows in the background. They're going crazy. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. And like I said, I'll make a video shortly.